Update: am I the asshole for not inviting my sister's fiancé to my graduation party? Hi, I'm back with an update. So I graduated last weekend. My sister didn't come, of course, and I hadn't reached out to her to try convince her to either. She was clear in her stance that she and her man come as a package and I'll have to accept him or accept that she won't come. Kind of worked for the better though. I gave the extra invitation for the ceremony to a friend who has a big family and she got to bring both grandparents. Anyway, my dad found out about the stalker incident. I didn't tell him because he would worry too much. He was furious and told my sister she better not bring David around him, and also that he was disappointed she gave David the benefit of the doubt regarding the whole situation when he put me in danger like that. She said I shouldn't have been so worried about the stalker because he has a wife now and isn't interested in stalking me anymore. So dumb. I've had to bother my male friends by asking them to stay at my house with me most nights because I'm terrified that the stalker will show up and I'll be by myself. But according to my sister, his marital status should put my mind at ease. Anyway, it was quite a big argument and she stormed off. We found out on the night of my graduation that she and David had eloped and got married the day before. Guess who was in attendance? Yep, the ex-stalker guy. Not surprised, to be honest, nor do I even care anymore. Everyone is kind of outraged on my behalf, but I kind of really don't care. I had a great time during my graduation. I've somehow managed not to overthink or feel sad about anything. I'm on holiday with my friends, and I am trying my best to not let my sister, her loser of a husband and the stalker to be on my mind. It's probably all just in my head, but I really feel like the stalker guy is around me at random times. Since I've been on holiday, I've felt a lot better and I'm kind of dreading going back home. My lease for my house will be up next month, so I'm hoping moving from my house will help me feel better. But for now, the over-the-counter motion sickness pills will have to do for my anxiety. Thanks to everyone who replied hugs. Thank you for the update. I'm glad your graduation went well. When you move house, do not give your sister your new address. She obviously cannot be trusted. Your dad sounds awesome though. Original post. Make sure your sister doesn't get your new address. It's probably all just in my head, but I really feel like the stalker guy is around me at random times. It's not paranoia if there is really someone out there. Someone who stalks high school girls and friend with someone who doesn't seem to mind cheating on his girlfriend surely isn't the type of stopping bothering people just because he is married. Take care of you. I am glad to read that your family is supporting you. Info. How old is David? Either what, he is a creep. Cheating on your sister, then literally the next day proposing to her? My stalker was married with 2 kids, and that did not stop him from following me down my street in his car as I left for work. The end of my road is a cul-de-sac. Never ever think that because a man is married he is somehow automatically safe. It's behavior and nothing else that determines if someone, man or woman, is dangerous or not. Congrats on graduation and I hope you live a great life. Am I the asshole for cutting my son's college fund because he refuses to visit me? I, 38M. Have 3 kids, 18M, 16M, 13F. But one of them isn't biological mine, 16M. I found out about this 3 years ago. It was a messy situation, so I ended up divorcing my wife and leaving. I moved to another city because I needed time to heal. I wasn't physically involved in my kids' life for 2 years, but I called them every day and talked to them. I also paid child support for the 3 of them. Here is where I know I did a terrible thing, and maybe that's why Alexander is mad at me and doesn't want to see me. When I called my kids, I only called Sophia and Raphael, 13F, 18M. Because I felt uncomfortable talking to Alexander. One day he was angry and grabbed the phone crying and said, "Don't you love me, Dad? Why are they more important to you?" I politely replied and said, "Honey, look, I love you but I need some time to heal. I'm still your father and I'll be back soon." He knows I'm not his biological father. I talked to him through messages because I didn't feel completely comfortable doing a FaceTime. I moved back to my city last year with my new partner to settle down, and my kids, 13F and 18M, came to visit me immediately, but Alexander didn't come, so I went to his mom to see what was going on, and I talked to him and also apologized for treating him that way, but refused to come to my house and said that he only wanted to hang out with me, and we did that. When he found out my wife, he refused to come to my wedding, was pregnant. He told me not to visit him again. Then I found that his mom was seeing Alexander's biological father, so I thought that my son wanted a relationship with his bio dad instead, so even if it hurts I respected his wishes until I found out that he rejects this guy. Raphael says that one day this guy was trying to spend time with him, but Alexander said, Look dude, no hard feelings, but don't try to force a fatherly role on me because you are not my dad and I already have one. So I decided to invite him again to live with me because my other 2 kids live with me 80% the time and he is the only one who refuses. My daughter was born 6 days ago and he hasn't come to see his half-sister, so I called him and said that if he doesn't come to see me I'll be cutting his college fund. He told me to F.C.K. off and then hung up. My mom says I'm being an asshole for threatening him that way. Am I the asshole? Seriously, I don't see the point of paying a college fund for a child that doesn't even want to see me. You abandoned your son who no doubt took this news as hard or harder than you did. You turned your back on him. Now you want him to dance like a trained monkey playing to your whims so he can have a future. You are the asshole. A very selfish asshole. Your poor son. You are the asshole. You treated your son like shit for 2 years because of what his mother did and you're shocked he didn't come running into your arms? You clearly favorite your biological kids. In what world would he want to visit more people you consider family when you don't consider him that? You are the asshole. You're the only one who gets time to heal. You think that was hard on you? This kid found out his life was a lie and then the only father he ever knew skipped town and couldn't even look at him for a crime he did not commit. Threatening him because he has a hard time adjusting to all these changes makes you an awful father. Treating your son like that and prioritizing your comfort over his makes you a bad father. Do better. This kid obviously still wants you around. You are the asshole. Money manipulation. Ignoring the fact that you are dealing with traumatized teenager. It feels like you both need each other, so maybe try to construct the relationship slowly? It is not surprising that he doesn't want to move to your place after the first date, despite the fact you have ignored him for 2 years. Plus, probably, he feel that his funds of leftovers of fatherly love will be transferred to a newborn, together with tuition fees. You are the asshole. You straight up cut him off and then essentially said you were bothered by his existence. No assholes here on this front, but then proceed to restart the relationship like nothing hurtful happened? For a child that doesn't even want to see me. You reaped what you sowed. You're a petty man. You can't have it both ways. Do you want Alexander in your life or not? If you do, then be the parent and don't pull petty tactics like this and effectively blackmail for love. Unless therapy is in the equation to address your personality, it seems like cutting Alexander out of your life is the best way to go. Son. Dad. Why won't you talk to me? Op. Cause I am hurt. Ill talk. Eventually. Several months later. Op. Hey. Why won't you talk to me? Son. Cause you hate me. Op. I do not. Ill prove it by taking away financial aid. That'll show you how much I don't hate you. This poor kid. Stuck with 2 shitty parents. Am I the asshole for begging my daughter not to have any more children? I, 58F, and my husband, Rob, 61M, have 2 kids, Erica, 35F, and Mike, 30M. Both kids are married, but Erica and her husband Steve, 38M, live nearby to us and this issue concerns them. They work full-time and have 2 kids, 5M and 4F. 5 years ago my daughter asked my husband and me if we would be willing to become their full-time childcare so she could continue to work and afford their comfortable life. We agreed, but we didn't discuss much more than watching the baby and their expectations. I was a teacher and retired 2 years before I could take my pension, so my husband continued to work and we made a few sacrifices like vacations and adding to our savings, but we were able to make it work so I could take my full pension at 55 and my husband retired a year later. Our arrangement worked and we enjoyed having the kids, except by year 3, 2020. We started to feel like they were taking advantage of our help. In 2020 during the lockdown, they were both working from home, they expected us to keep the kids all day, and we wanted to split time week since their preschool daycare was closed. We settled on 2 with them and 3 with us, and my Sil complained about it pretty much every day. Things got better when the kids were able to school. Fast forward to year 4, 2021. We have a bit of a blow-up over kindergarten. My daughter did not want 5M to start school in the unknown, but I insisted that he needed to go because I needed the break. I also asked for 4F to spend more time at the preschool daycare program. Sil complained about the cost, but I pushed anyway. They relented, and then this past spring Sil pushed for us to take the kids for a week so they could go on a vacation. We said they had to take the kids and he said, they couldn't afford it. No one went on vacation. Maybe that is too much background, but I feel like the context is important for what I said. My daughter and I were casually having a conversation the other day and she mentioned she had an OB/GYN appointment and tests. I asked if everything was okay and she said Steve and her were trying for baby number 3. I asked her what her childcare plan was and she looked at me like I was crazy and said us. I said that it would have been nice if she told me this before trying for another baby. She said it is none of my business. I said it is if I'm providing 5 more years of babysitting. I then told her that we were not a viable childcare option for a new baby and begged her to reconsider. 4F is going off to kindergarten. We feel like we are getting our days back to some extent and refuse to start all over again with an infant. Erica said we are making her choose between her dream of 3 kids and financial stability. I argued that she has 2 beautiful children and they are financially stable, they shouldn't ruin that with another baby. I might be the asshole because Erica feels like we should have told her sooner. I feel like I am not because I never agreed to a lifetime of raising their kids. And #X200B. Edit. We will continue to watch our 2 grandchildren after school and during the summer as this is what we have agreed to and we enjoy it. School provides a nice break for us and then we do fun things with the kids in the summer. We just don't want to start again with another baby. Not the asshole. Red flags should have been raised when they wanted to go on holiday without their children at this age. Parenting is not something you take a break from, especially at 4-5 years old. They sound very unprepared to be parents at all, let alone for 3 children. Edit. For clarity, by take a break, I meant taking prolonged vacations. Of course it's fine to occasionally drop you children off at your parents' for a gathering or one night of enjoying life. Not the asshole, but please remember this. No one can treat you like a doormat without your permission. You need to put your foot down 100% unequivocally that you are no longer, and will never again, be long-term childcare for any of their current or future children. One-off babysitting is fine, but they need to figure out where their kids will go on a regular basis starting immediately. And then do not cave into any cajoling, guilt trips, comparisons, begging, sob stories, etc. You have earned your retirement and are completely free to spend it any way you and your husband choose. Period. Not the asshole. The audacity of some people to say it isn't your business when they expect you to be the childcare. Just refuse. I feel like your argument here shouldn't be, please don't have any more kids. It should be, do what you want but I will not be here to help. This is your kid, not mine. You should 100% tell her that you are done babysitting and she will have to figure out childcare for any additional kids that she has. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need to stop babysitting now so she knows you're serious. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. My sister has done this exact thing to our parents and they can't even enjoy being retired. You are not there to provide free childcare. You raised your kids, now it's time for you and your husband to be able to enjoy your time together without kids. Stand firm and hold your ground. She wants another baby, that's fine, but you are not going to be the care provider for this one too. Not the asshole. Sorry you raised such a self-entitled and selfish daughter lol. I asked her what her childcare plan was and she looked at me like I was crazy and said us. I said that it would have been nice if she told me this before trying for another baby. She said it is none of my business. Lol, she assumes you are the de facto babysitters then feels that this is none of your business? Wow. Am I the asshole for not paying for my landlord's damaged car after he rammed his car into mine? I live in my landlord's home, renting part of it. Anyways, the suite came with 1 parking spot. The parking spot that he advertised? This tiny squeeze right next to 2 of his cars parked in front of his 2-car garage. I live in Vancouver so landlords can get away with offering the minimum and expect the maximum in rent. But okay. I could carefully fit my tiny coupe in. And I had, for 3 months without incident. Well, as I was trying to leave the house yesterday morning, I witnessed my landlord trying to back his F350 into its usual spot next to my car. Except he missed and rammed my car instead. He climbs out of his truck, looks at me, and cusses me out. Telling me that because I had my car there, I was at fault. That my car being there, made for reckless parking and he had no option but to hit me, mind you. This was the spot he advertised, and I had been parking, like he directed me to. I was in the very same spot earlier that morning that he was able to get out of, so it clearly wasn't impossible. I told him no, that he hit my car. And that he was the one who sanctioned a parking spot there. And that I would be happy to settle this without involving insurance, if he'd like to pay out of pocket to sort out my car. He of course chuckled at me, called me an idiot, and told me to expect a bill in the mail tomorrow. It should be important to note that I am a tiny, quiet and shy woman, and I assumed he thought I'd back down. Yay, no. I said, nope, you give me no option except to call the police. So I quickly took photos, all while this man was suddenly very angry and cussing me out. I quickly went into my suite, locked the doors. Called the police. Remembered I still had screenshots of the advertised rental suite and photos of the landlord-sanctioned parking space, gave it all to the police. It was a lot, I have never spoken to the police before. And #X200B. This morning he sent me a ton of texts calling me a bitch, that I was costing him a ton of money etc. etc. I know I am in the right legally, but am I the asshole for how I went about it? Edit. His wife got in on the action this evening, telling me the costs of repair will severely affect their ability to raise their baby due in 2 months. I realize that's not my problem. Thank you for all the comments and advice. ICBC will be contacted, as well as the RTB to protect myself. Not the asshole. He sounds like the asshole and you should probably move. Not the asshole. Sounds like you did the only thing that you could and what you needed to do to ensure your safety. That said, this man has keys to your apartment, so I would consider moving ASAP. I know that's not as easy as I make it sound, but please do what you can to be safe. This guy doesn't sound reasonable. Call your insurance, give them his information and police report, and his insurance will be paying for your car. Not the asshole. He's a damn asshole. Not the asshole. But also, he's going to make your life miserable as long as you live there. Do you have any option to move? Because I'd seriously consider that. Document everything. Take pictures of the interior and exterior of your place. Save the texts and go to the police for harassment because of him hitting you and that you do. It feels safe. Be proactive. Not the asshole. Screenshot the text from this morning and tell him the harassment needs to stop now. If it persists, even one more incident, go file a police report and get a restraining order. As others said, you should start looking into new apartments, just in case this guy decides to get violent. Also, definitely get some sort of recording device for your home and car. I'd also recommend talking to an attorney that specializes in rental law and see if this harassment means he has to pay you if you have to break lease for security concerns caused by his actions.